everybody. Another Friday rolls around. Brilliant. It's a little bit cold, damp and horrible out there, but we're nice and snug and warm in here. And I hope I find you all bright-eyed, bushy-tailed and raring to go. No? Just me then. Well, me and Sumac. Sumac being our channel mascot, of course. Orf! One Sumac. Talking of Sumac, did you see that link? Perfect. Talking of Sumac, James has got his jab earlier this week. James is, of course, lives with Sumac. He's allowed to live in her house providing he keeps the treats coming in the walkies. So he's under constant probation, is James. He got his jab earlier this week. He was quite cocky about how the jab gave him no ill effects. Dangerous. That is, until we were watching your channel after dinner and he suddenly started shivering uncontrollably. Frankly, I thought he was playing some new game with me, but no, he grabbed 3 blankets and huddled under them for an hour until it passed. Kind of exciting. Hard luck, James. Where are you with your jabs at the moment? We've had 2 and a booster. There's some people in this area looking at having, particularly vulnerable I guess, looking at having a 4th jab. Crikey. We're not going to get this COVID beat, are we, till everybody in the world, it seems, has had their jabs. Knocked it on the head. Hope you're doing okay. James then replies to Sumac's. Your video started out with a popper pad for ice cream and I felt the need to go out and buy some and dish them out before continuing. No wonder you're cold eating ice cream this time of year. Oh, blimey. On the vlog, let's go back to the last vlog. Jim Nichols comments. Ron, when I first came to New Zealand in 1972, I arrived by ship, having first flown to Singapore and embarked there. Your film made me think of the first British founders of Christchurch in the 1840s. Wow. Who came, of course, under sail, through storm-tossed seas, navigating by the stars and taking several months on the voyage, which not all of them survived. When they docked in the port of Lyttelton, they had to climb over the considerable barrier of the Cotswolds Hills with all their worldly possessions on their backs, to be faced with the sight of an almost featureless swamp which they would have had to drain by hand before any building could begin. Can you imagine that? Just standing there looking at it. You just can't really imagine what it must have been like. And what you do? I suppose you carry on because there's nothing else you can do. Amazing people. Michael from Poland. Morning, Ron. 6:33 Friday morning here in Poland. Blimey, Michael, you're up early. Woke up to -3 with about 5 centimetres of snow. A lot different from your garden and weather in the UK. Yeah, we featured a bit of that, didn't we, last week? Yeah, Michael, hang in there, buddy. Keep your warm coat on for goodness sake. Simon the Hairy Golfer. Simon's just done a series of videos on his golfing channel. Playing safely and playing aggressively. Done a comparison of the two. Worth a look. Simon says, I enjoyed the look around the docks. Something tells me that in the future we're going to need those tall ships if the Green Lobby get their way. Yeah, we'll be back under sail, folks. Did you know? Simon's introduced a did you know section. Did you know how they used to get the telephone lines to the top floor of those warehouses many decades ago? There were telegraph poles the height of the warehouses. They're 6 or 7 stories high. Blimey, that must have been some pole, mustn't it? When I joined in 1981, there was only one left, but it had been shortened. The base, however, was a full yard in diameter. You'd have to be for that height, crikey. I climbed it, put the ladder up to the bottom set of steps, and when I got there, it was like hugging an elephant rather than being on a pole. Simon, rather you than me, mate. If you've been shortened or not, you wouldn't get me up there. Lionel and Mary Travels. They enjoy the tour ships and the music. Now, they have a channel called Lionel and Mary Travels. And if you like colourful gardens, we showed a little bit last week, didn't we? They've just done a film on Sir Harold Hillier's gardens near Romsey. And it's stunning. The colour in that garden, winter colour. It's absolutely mind-blowing, really is. So if that's your bag, go look online on the Mary Travels and have a walk around Sir Harold Hillier's gardens with Lionel and Mary. Wonderful. Right, going on to last week's film then, the Lower Lydbrook Viaduct film. Andrew Merriman. Hi Ron, I knew exactly where to lay my hands on the Lower Lydbrook details, so the work was done before 0900 hours. Crikey, Andrew. What are you people doing getting up at these odd hours? I'm still in bed then. He said, however, I will research a little further during the week. Andrew provides all the technical detail on these films. It's wonderful. Thanks, Andrew. Right, James Rodney Master says, at times it looked and sounded like the deep jungles of Borneo. Yeah, what was that odd bird sound? I had it down as a pheasant to start with. May have been a buzzard, don't know. But, David Bennett says, your bird sounded more like someone strangling their dog to me, Ron. Yeah, horrible noise. Michael from Poland again then enjoyed it, especially that short tunnel. Excuse me. Amazing to think it was built using hand tools and some explosive material. What a shame that very little left of the area's industrial past. Yeah, that viaduct must have been an impressive sight. Nothing left anymore. Yeah, I think we're all agreed in the comments. It would have been wonderful if they could have left that viaduct there. Can you imagine that as a cycle trail and a walking path, floating all that height above the valley? It would have been tremendous, wouldn't it? And I suppose the council at the time only thought of the cost, the maintenance costs, and they didn't have a viable use for it then, I suppose. Such a pity. I suppose had they left just the pillars up, then it would have been less of a job to reconstruct it. Anyway, there you go. Talking of the ironwork on that viaduct, in the Colford Railway Museum, they've actually got a section of that there, which they've reused on their platform, access to their platform. So there's little bits of it left over there. And Simon, our hairy golfer again, did you have a look for the feet of the viaduct? Any signs of foundations? No, I didn't. I should have done. But I have to say, when I got back down to that area, I was a little bit, shall we say, tired. And the calling of the car was a bit too much for me. So no, I didn't. If anybody else knows, chip in please, let us know. Trev Jones, Trev Joyce, and I think Trev can probably help us here, to be honest. He said, this is an area I walk a lot. In fact, only yesterday I was standing on that long flight of steps looking at the remaining abutments of Lydbrook Viaduct. Well, I'm blown. Coincidence for you? Some points that may be of interest. And Trev then goes to explain about all the businesses in the area and the various railway connections and what have you. He does a good job. He does a good Andrew Merriman there almost. So if you want to find out all those details, please read Trev Joyce's comments and fill you in on the... It gives the film a little bit of added interest when you know what all these bits and pieces are for. Wonderful. And Andrew Merriman, of course, who says, I always wondered what was left of the viaduct. Yeah, well, now you know, Andrew, and the answer is very, very little. Lydbrook Viaduct was 187 yards long, 123 yards of which were the 3 metal sections, the rest being a 3-arch viaduct on the Holt side and a 2-arch viaduct on the opposite side. Wonderful. And then Andrew goes into all the detail of the signalling, the layouts and what have you, and the sidings. Wonderful information from Andrew, there's a load of it there. What I tend to do is I read it through quickly once, and then I'll go back to it again later when I've got more time and read through it carefully line by line. And the detail in there is amazing, really enhances the video, I think. Well done, well done to both of you. Jim Nichols says, that looked quite strenuous, Ron. Not a lot of railway left, but a pleasant walk anyway. Always a pity when landowners try to restrict access that has clearly been used for many years. Oh, don't get me started, Jim. It amazes me. If you don't want people near or on your property, don't buy a property near anything historic. It's simple, isn't it, really? Oh well. Simon Worman says, Lydbrook, 250 yards wide and 3 miles long, as the locals used to say when I moved into the area in 1982. Simon's since moved out of the area, but yeah, you can see the reasoning behind it, can't you? 250 yards wide. It's so blooming steep from there. They're 3 miles long. They've gone the linear route, going up the valley. Thanks for that, Simon. Now, Lee Cliff says he enjoyed the bimbo. I'm sure there was a level crossing by the church. And in jumps Andrew Merriman, of course. Hi Lee, you are correct. There was a level crossing at the end of the platforms controlled by lower Lydbrook signal box. And he gives us some more detail in there. Well done, Andrew. Andrew supports this channel, keeps it going and provides the interest. Sumac MacArthur, we're back to Sumac. Still doing alright, Sumac? Orf! I would like to see where that gated entrance in the wall on the left went. I reckon I might have been able to squidge through if I'd been there. Yeah, I'm sure you could, Sumac. It's getting you back out would be the issue. James Weeks then. Sumac's partner in crime. Quite a bit of stair climbing. On the side, some sleeper fence posts. You're taking a break from the climb, aren't you? No, I'm just looking at the sleeper fence posts. He said, I do the same thing. Huff and puff. Where's your bore, Sumac? Let's stop and take a look. Oh, it's right there in your mouth. Thank you, James. Lionel and Mary, that tunnel, what advantage was that over a cutting? Yeah, now there's a point of interest, isn't it? And it wasn't like there was much above the tunnel. It could easily have taken it. It would have been easier, surely, to have gone straight down than to go through. But so why did they leave that bit there? The only reason I can come up with, and you're welcome to come up with your own conclusion, the only reason I can come up with is perhaps they were using it as an abutment to hold the rock face back on the other side, so they left that bit there to add extra strength in. Something I could think of. Right, Film Club. And this week we're doing Garden Steam. I've culled these bits out of what is my most successful film ever, I think, in terms of views, that is, anyway. Don't really know why, but there you are. So I've culled a few bits out of that to give you a taster if you haven't already seen it, and I'll put a link at the bottom to the full film in case you want to see that. Right, next week then we're off to Merrystock. This really is a continuation of the Lydbrook line. So we ran out of access, didn't we, last week? We were at that railway. So I've gone round to the other side, if you like, and coming down from there to have a look, to see what we can get. And there's my wife just come home to make a noise. Perfect timing, really, isn't it? So there's a lovely cutting there which the tunnel is in, which was an amazing feat again, but unfortunately it's fenced off. So what we can see, I don't know, we'll find out. So I'll see you down at Merrystock next Friday. Bring your virtual walking boots, virtual anything you like, but don't be late.
rock and roll.